Today I'm wandering with my camera around a snow-dusted Stockholm. Got no plans, no agenda. I'm going to see where I end up, but I will be taking shots just like these. I've been keeping things super simple on my Sweden trip, just carrying my Leica Q3 43, and I have loved traveling light. I've not had a backpack full of gear all the time. I'm taking photos on this and shooting video on my very tiny DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And it is a wonderful travel setup. There's some great light on at the moment. You can probably see the light on the buildings, a bit of blue sky going on, potential for some interesting shots. Is someone going to walk through this light? Yeah, these guys are. There's been a lovely dusting of snow, so I thought I'd wander into this park because everything looks quite magical, albeit maybe a little slippery underfoot, so I'll have to be careful. It's really refreshing being out like this actually, because I had to get up at 3 a.m. for my flight back to Stockholm from the north of Sweden. So I am pretty tired, if I'm honest. But doing a nice long walk around the city, getting my steps in, having a coffee, hopefully taking some snaps. That's making me feel pretty good. Someone's walking up behind me. I can put them in a shot. I actually love this. I moved my composition slightly. My first photo, this post was hidden against the tree. So just by taking a couple of steps to my left, I've been able to frame it between these two trees, leaving a nice space for that figure to walk through. And I like it. Shot this using the Leica Chrome profile again because I absolutely adore it, and particularly in conditions like this, I love what it does to blues in the skies, oranges in the trees, and I love the kind of slightly more low contrast look that it gives, which I think gives a beautiful sort of filmic vibe to a scene like this, particularly because I put back on my gold mist filter, which adds that kind of hazy gold warmth, which I love. What about down here? I like this less, but it's not bad. So just going to hop across this little stream and maybe shoot this way, because now I've got that sort of pergola, whatever it is, in the shot a little bit, and I do quite like that. Again, I'd love a figure to be about here, and handily, someone is about to walk into my scene. Having walked slightly up this hill, I think I like the view maybe a little bit more, but the figure is already gone. Do I like it more? Actually, I might prefer the first version anyway, so that's fine. Because I'm so good at planning, what I have done yet again is just leave my hotel and walk in a direction. Then I've ended up wandering accidentally through the college campus, and now on the other side of that into this big parkland. There is a nice looping path that I've seen that will take me all the way back roughly towards the city centre. Snap. Now it might seem like I'm just always randomly wandering. It's because I am, but I don't know the city, and so just sort of picking a direction and going with it, and then following random roads as you see them, is a great way of exploring. And who knows what shots you'll get. I didn't know this park was here, for example. I'm not expecting anything spectacular on this walk. I'm not even sure exactly the sort of photos I'm going to be taking. Is it going to be street photography? I don't think so. I think probably what I'm expecting is more general travel photography, the sorts of shots that you might enjoy taking yourself if you're going on a nice holiday somewhere. And like me, you want to keep things light, keep things simple, but you still want to have some lovely shots to come away with at the end of your trip, either to put on your wall, put in a book, or just share with your friends and family. There's an allotment here. Am I allowed to walk through? I love allotments. I suspect not, because usually it's private property, so I'm not going to wander through in case someone chases me out in a language I cannot speak. But I actually really enjoy going out like this, not knowing the sort of shots I'm going to get, not knowing if I'm going to take my best photos of my life, or if it's just going to be a handful of fairly acceptable snaps. Because it allows me to feel open, allows me to feel a bit more free, and that helps me feel a bit more creative, because I'm not setting any expectations in my work. I'm not going out thinking I've got to get certain images, I've got to take a certain type of shot. I'm not looking for pictures of people, I'm not looking for pictures of things, I'm not looking for anything. I just get to wander out and see what I find. When you go out with that attitude in a new place, which for me Stockholm is, it feels great, because you can do anything and you can enjoy every single step that you take. An old Volvo in the snow? Well, it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Wandered a bit further, I've come down to this lake because it's all frozen solid, and immediately I really like this scene with these two kind of stumps either side of the pathway. We've got some bulrushes there, and obviously the blue sky, which looks great with the colour toning of the Leica chrome. So I'm trying to put myself in a position with the path running through it where I can line up with these two stumps, and I really like how that looks. If I'm honest, I've already taken the shot with a man running through it. Then I thought, you know what, that was a nice scene, let's record it as well. So that's what I'm doing. It does look really cool. I do really like, you probably can't really see on this camera, it's a very wide angle lens, but there's some lovely looking houses over there, which obviously in the summer here, when it's warmer, you've got your own lake with your own waterfront. Beautiful. So let's head back this way. See what else we can find. It's a beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for nicer conditions to be out shooting. It's cold, but it's sunny. Blue sky, lovely light and shadow, gorgeous colours. At some point I'm going to need to get some lunch, because I've been up since 3 and haven't eaten anything. And I just remembered that I'm hungry. And so maybe I could find some lunch. Have a pint. You'll have to let me know what you think of these sort of walking and shooting videos. They're very off the cuff. Some of my videos I extensively plan. I do test shoots to make sure that what I'm going to be telling you about actually works, and that I'm giving you good information that you can put into use yourself. Whereas these, it's off the cuff. It's literally me, essentially on holiday, exploring somewhere new. Snap. Maybe that's interesting, maybe that's helpful, maybe it's inspirational for your own photos. I know that there are several photographers I follow that do that kind of out and about thing, and I like it. I like seeing their eye in a scene, I like seeing their take, and what catches their eye, what inspires them to take a photo. And I'm hoping that maybe you get similar from things like this. However, if you all hate it, well, that changes everything, and maybe I don't do this anymore. So do pop your thoughts in the comments below. Genuinely interested to know what you think. Just waiting for this massive ship to come. Is it turning around? It's turning around. I've been waiting ages for it to come past here, and now I decided instead it's going to power slide in the river. Great. I joined a walking group and headed into a nearby forest. It was beautiful to walk around. The frozen lake was amazing to walk across, and I asked this ice fisherman if I could take some images.
Thank you.
I love how they came out. Been doing some close-up shots of this guy, but I just love this wide scene when he's just a speck in the snow. Really puts him in context, being on the frozen lake with the forest behind him. So I love that I've got both angles, the wide and the close. It's such a tourist shot, but I don't care, because I am a tourist today. Love here the strong shadow of the domed building behind me. It's great. Been waiting, trying to get a shot of someone actually walking through, and hopefully I have got that shot. But it's a perfect day to explore with my camera here. I do tend to carry my camera on my strap across my body. It's a nice secure way of holding it. It doesn't pull on my neck too much. It also means whenever I see a shot that I want to get, it's right here. I don't have to get it out of my bag. I don't have to fish around in a messenger. It's always here. And I can just put it away if I go into a restaurant or something. I think on these kind of walking tours like this, having your camera always available is one of the best things you can do to, I don't know, stay creative and to get the shots as you see them. Love the way that the ice on this lake is clearly fractured and broken as it's been a bit warmer, and then it's all refrozen in these shards. So I've just been sort of standing here trying to find some interesting sort of compositions that uses some of these different shards as nice patterns. Because we've got some that have got a little bit more snow on, some that are really jaggedy, some that are a little bit more watery. I don't really think any of these are going to be incredible shots, but there's something about it that I really like. So I am just sort of moving the camera around and seeing if any of these like individual sections kind of line up nicely within the frame. And I think some of them do. Quite like this one. Yeah. Is this the most incredible of photography? Maybe not, but certainly tells the story of wintry Stockholm. God, my hands are cold. Maybe a little bit up here. Oh yeah, some nice patches here. I'm really trying not to get too close to the edge either. But I'm at f8, ISO 400 here, which is giving me shutter speed of about 200th of a second, so more than enough to get nice, sharp images. Oh, we've got some bigger cracks here. These might work. Leaning over. And I love finding patterns like that. It can be in ice like this. I do it a lot with bark and with leaves. And I do find that the best way to do that is simply just look through your camera's viewfinder and just move it around. And you will naturally see that things start to line up in an interesting way. Maybe you get nice diagonals coming through. Maybe it's various triangles that form particular sections, which is kind of what I'm looking for here because of the way the shards have all lined up. The great thing is that there's no right or wrong way to do this. There is no good or bad composition necessarily. It's all just down to your own interpretation of how you see the various shapes coming together. And it may be that I look at those photos on my computer later and think, what the hell was I doing? And I may completely cut this section out of the video. So if you are watching this at all, it's because I thought it was remotely interesting to see. I did not ask this guy to stand there, just being on this pier, providing size context, but I love that he is. Just changing my white balance, setting it to shadow, it's giving a lovely warmth. And down here, this little plate of ice is floating into the scene, just adding some lovely interest in the lower thirds of the frame. I'm going to wait a few seconds for it to float further in. The guy's still there. Beautiful scene. Got great light and shadow coming through. So it'll be, can I find a figure with the right composition? Okay. With the spire, these lovely lines. Been shooting in colour, but I've just switched up to black and white, and I think this still looks beautiful because we've got so much contrast. The light and shadow. Got someone about to walk into the frame, which I think is going to look amazing. Go on. The light and shadow. Love the sun to come back out and really emphasize the shadows here. So we've got a man sitting in his hat on his phone, and then a man just leaning back. The sun's just gone behind a cloud. But it does look like it's just peeking back out. The shadows are returning. Yeah, this is it. So I quite like this as a wider scene. I'm also just going to use the crop mode, which is going to take it to equivalent of about 60mm. I'm exposing for the highlights here because I really want this to be a very high contrast scene. I want the shadows to fall almost to black, so it's just the highlights that are picking out the characters. And I think that looks really good. Absolutely love that. Finding those patches of highlights works so well for black and white. So well. Yeah, really pleased with these shots. Really like this line of red buoys, or whatever they are, in the water, because that red against the blue is great. It forms a lovely diagonal going through the scene. Unfortunately, we've got really shadowy background. There's no sunlight falling on the hills and the buildings over here, a little bit on the buildings and the church spire over there. So it's not a perfect scene, but I'm going to give it a go anyway, because I do think it looks nice. From f8, ISO 400, 400th of a second. Well, that brings me to an end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this little snowy wander around Stockholm with me. If you have enjoyed this video, then you might be pleased to know that there'll be plenty more coming from my Sweden trip, including a much bigger video where I go right up into the Arctic. I take photos while driving cars on ice, and I do all kinds of things, so stay tuned for that soon. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you have liked this video, give it a like, subscribe if you don't already, of course, and I will see you next time.